As they turn and look at these boulders, any favourites that spring to mind looking at that set of athletes?
Any favourites?
They had to climb a boulder to just start the boulder.
Yeah. You can see that first green tag on the right, that starting right-hand toe, but it's actually not quite straightforward to get to. And then you have to climb an exceptionally hard boulder afterwards.
So the aim of bouldering, you start at the bottom on those green tags, you finish at the top on the top, and there's a...
It's always a good experience.
It is, and he's found a real run of form this year. He's climbing well, so that's the boulder problem that we were talking about, but he made it look pretty simple, to be fair to him. He was 11th in Brixton in our last comp. Can he improve on that? 4th is his best this year in Salt Lake City, as he comes up with the left hand into the zone. But you've got to control that properly. He will get the scoring zone for that. And an easy start on your right, across through straight away for Zhong Won-chon.
Goodness, what great tension throughout there. And there he leaps off the wall. He is very happy with that. And that last move, like
10th in South Korea.
I think very exciting. When Zhong Won-chon introduced Lee to me, he introduced him as his brother. And for the first time, I was quite confused. It's different names. I didn't question him. But I think I'll get back to the story after we see his attempt.
Yeah, he's coming up towards the zone. Pinches there, you can see the thumb in action, working hard. Steps up with the right foot. And this boulder, you've got to say at this moment, if you're a route setter, you're getting a bit nervous because he is cruising these moves, as Zhong Won-chon did. Thumb in the hole, that is allowed. Brings the left foot up. Oh, and then slips at the very top.
You'd be thinking the other method might be better.
Yeah, these athletes have no idea what the other athletes have done. They won't know the techniques, they won't know the failures or the successes. They have to work it out for themselves for the first time. So, Do-yeon Lee, once again, into the last section of this boulder. Quick work. Let's see what he does with that left foot. He needs to match both hands on that final hold, in control. Much better that time.
There it is. Go
place. We were slightly worried about his form, but then that semi-finals was a heck of a performance from him.
Very, very good performance. It was an interesting experience watching the coaches sit through qualification, the stress on their faces as they watch Yannick start to go down the level. But he did make it through.
He's full of power, this man. Comes up and matches. Not quite cruising it as much as the two South Korean athletes, but doesn't really matter. Making good progress as he comes up. He's got the zone hold. Switches the feet over, needs to match that top hold in control and does so very easily. And, well, this is...
Climbers in finals, as he is so strong, so competent, but he is known to struggle a bit with nerves. And so this is really affected. He should dominate very often, but it sometimes doesn't go that way.
He's the first athlete who looked like he was struggling on that first move just a little bit, because it isn't an easy sequence through there. So Kokoro getting stood up now on that starting hold. We know the sequence, right foot, left foot. Once he got through those initial moves, absolutely cruising. And maybe that was the nerves you were talking about down low.
Yeah, that little start, it looked like going to be anything. It's that insane mental game that's required.
I was climbing in the gym here last week, and he was just walking around flashing every single one of the hardest boulders in the gym, just in a row, just ticking them off. He's in some form.
In a row. So a bit more of a difficult start there, as the undercut is higher up for him, but once he realized what to do and really approach it, it wasn't a bother.
Yeah, we're seeing the same beta, really, from all the athletes. Colin a little shorter, which might contribute to that, but stands up nicely now, having to adjust that hand, matches. Yeah, made it look a little bit more difficult there at the top, but just perhaps... So he's off the ground, gets going, and the start we're familiar with by now.
Very familiar. Looks like he has some decent pace, no bother with that first pull. Now let's see, we've got so many flashes on this boulder, he'll not want to mess it up.
Yeah, he doesn't know it's an easy one, and it certainly seems a bit easy at this stage. Look at that cross through, complete control from Yoshiki Ogata. He will maintain the #1 position due to finals. Colin Duffy in second, Kokoro Fuji, Yannick Floet, Zhong Won-chon and Do-yeon Lee. Talk us through the sequences that we're going to see here.
Well, this incredibly difficult start. We're also going to see some quite high feet there on the right into the start, and then as they come across the zone, suddenly it's going to be very high tension. walking their feet along these black crimps. I think it is quite a almost cerebral boulder. Your brain is going to be in your feet a lot, making sure to stand right, to put the pressure in the right place. It's going to be really interesting.
Jeongwon kicking karate style across the wall, and then he needs to drop down to the zone. And he's matching Jeongwon coming onto the crimp.
This high pressure on the feet, now switching to a different type of pressure on the big blue hold to relax the feet to stand on it.
If you just joined us, Jeongwon Chon is on boulder number 2, and he's at the end of this sequence, crossing through. And then this final jump to the top. Oh, and a slip from...
Bouldering is you have so much power in your first go, and then you can be very aware that you might not have any left. Oh my God, that was half of one arm pull-up he just did.
Showboating out there is Jeongwon Chon. Absolutely wonderful to see. Now this is the move that spat him off before. Holds the balance this time, and again, that sloper not providing the purchase he would have wanted. Jeongwon Chon is on 4.
Little mistakes like this come through. It's something that most athletes take a lot of time to learn and adapt to. But he is here, he is doing exceptionally well. So there's every opportunity he's going to keep improving.
And this was the move that Jeongwon almost showboated on with that one-arm rest position. Do-yeon Lee kicking that right leg to pull his weight around, drops down to the zone. And that's wonderful. Look, as the wind blows, it literally looks like he's flying Superman-style through the middle section of this route. High foot up. And then this smeary sequence where the concentration really kicks in.
Keep an eye on the feet through here.
Spinning down. So Do-yeon Lee with the heel hook gets stood up underneath, crosses through to the sloper, and then into the salad bowl hold on the left. Oh, he always just looks ever so slightly out of control on that movement.
Yeah, it is. There's very little control in that right arm, and then as you grab the good hold with the left, your body swings across. So that's where the energy pulls it.
So now, look, that's a great angle to show what he's standing on. It's basically nothing he's standing on. So a slip down low for Do-yeon Lee, perhaps showing a little bit of fatigue now. He's thrown himself at this boulder so many times already. Smearing up, matching, trying to get as much skin as possible as he slaps up. Got the fingers there working that textured surface. Down to the zone. Oh, and again, just starting to rush a little bit. He knew the clock was there and his time was running out.
17, we couldn't recite an example, but Yannick Floe did do that last time in Brixton.
Yeah, it's his 3rd finals this year, and he's looking in great form as he gets stood up. But he needs to turn this move, does it dynamically and catching with the right foot, keeping it on. Both the South Korean athletes were flying left at that point.
Yeah, very, very impressive use of coordination.
Oh, you can hear the crowd's reaction because what he's doing there just defies physics, belief. It's unbelievable, and I don't think he's going to be able to make it work, and he is be able to make it work. Drops down to the crib. That feat of strength that we've just witnessed is I've lost the words. That was incredible.
The amount of power going through one side of his body there, insane. But I've been saying this again and again, the amount of power Yannick Floe.
See if he's going to change this, because I mean that must have taken something out of him. Surely he can't do it again. Let's see.
He has match, so it looks like he'll go with the other hand.
Okay, so a different sequence, which as you can see, far, far easier. Hopefully that first attempt hasn't taken too much out of him, because he's a man who could top this thing.
Keep an eye on the feet.
Yeah. It's small. So we get the Aufgates call from the commentator in the stadium.
I love this movement. There's actually no balance point before he actually throws himself left into this balance point. Really unnatural to think, okay, I have no center of balance, but I'm going to go in a direction and I'll find it.
So Yannick once again tries to keep the pressure on his feet. Oh, and popping again with the fingers, and he's going to run out of time on that. So Yannick will call it a day. And look, one of the strange aspects. So Kokoro Fuji again through the bottom. He's currently sitting in first place. If he can get a top, it's going to set him up well for the rest of it. But he's only got 1:50 to work out this sequence. So powerful as he swings out left. And then check the feet.
Look at the eyes there. They picked the foot Did slide though. Held it somehow. Pure power in the arms.
And look at him looking down at the feet. Oh, that's some strength, I tell you, to hold that shoulder. It's trying new things. So Kokoro once more. He's got 36 seconds, which is going to be a bit tight. This will be his last attempt on this. Out to the left. Starts to make the movements left, swinging. Drops down to the zone. 20 seconds on the clock. He's got time at the bobble, and that might not leave him enough, and it doesn't. So Kokoro Fuji also doesn't unlock this boulder. Who doesn't at this point? I mean, look, the Olympics changed the format. Speed gets his own discipline, so yeah, these boulderers and lead climbers will be certainly eyeing that one up. Into the slopers for Colin. Slightly awkward. Oh, and that right foot kicking way to the left.
Yeah, that big whip. It didn't have the same stability on those holds as the other ones.
Dropping down, chalking up.
Locking off for the chalk up there. I like that.
Colin, that won't be showboating for him. It will just be the easiest position. And he matches the zone hold before bringing the left down. High foot. Trying to keep that tension.
Not have this in an undercut, not the same way the other athletes did. They had it.
Isn't it?
It's really one of the most unpleasant parts of climbing, for sure.
And usually you can go away and sort of take a 2-minute break and have a little chill, but he can't. He's got to get back on.
He's got to get back on. Got to put away that sound of one hand clapping.
So Colin drops across, adjusts the fingers for the match, snatches at it, makes it work. Reaches under his own foot. Almost in a figure 4 position as he locks it in. And now, this is it, the sequence where it's all about the feet. He's trying to get a better positioning on that crimp, matching again.
Another match, looking relatively good though.
Oh, snatching, great strength from Colin.
And look at the hips, they're so far right, it's so hard to...
Down at the bottom because he hasn't tried this. It will change the second he gets that zone. So, smearing, palming, kicks that right leg out to the left and then drops into the zone. Different sequences from Colin. Doesn't match that zone hold.
Very powerful. So, as we know, watch the feet. So I think everyone knows what to do, but actually carrying that out is so difficult. We're going to see whether or not it happens right now.
The thing is, even if he gets himself set on and swinging off, you can see, I mean, all the athletes have had this same process, that they start to get tired, as you can see, and then it just goes to pieces there. Gata, one top, 2 zones and 1 attempt. Colin Duffy, second, and Kokoro Fuji.
You want to put those palms on the 2 big yellow holes right beside the starting holes. And there is always the option of getting a foot up there, but it's going to be so hard to generate enough momentum to get you all the way above that hold. So likely we'll think, okay, taking a palm, and then...
As we get to see this first move from Jeong Won-chon. So the spring at the start. So Jeong Won-chon has just started M3, and he did it in a different way than the route setters thought they might.
I think he pulled on, and you could see the hips ready to go. And I think at the last second he changed his mind and thought, oh, maybe we try it static, and then change it up. But it is a blaringly different beta.
Oh, there we go. Well, that's kind of what they wanted. Movement. You can see he just tapped that starting hold and then continued and went back to the static method, which looks better for him.
Maybe looks better as he's getting more climbing in. Keep an eye on the right hip. Can he open it enough to bring his body weight across? That right shoulder's pulling him off, so he's trying to switch his palm in another direction. He's realized now there isn't enough time to really have a good go at learning this movement.
He's going to do it anyway. It doesn't matter. 7 seconds. That was closer. You could see the learning going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Final World Cup boulder of the year for the IFSC. My name is Matt Groove, and I'm joined by Dan and Marky here in the commentary box, and we are watching all of the action here as Do-Yeon Lee launches to the left. Oh no! Wow! Oh, that's interesting. A bit
very different. Almost a little bit less of the unknowns.
Oh,
and
come on.
He does the foot method.
Come on.
I was hoping
To go. Might want to think about changing things up here. He's not going to. Oh, and this time he makes it work. Okay, so Do-Yeon Lee is up and established. You heard the crowd. They know what they've just seen. I can't quite get my head around it. So Do-Yeon into the side pull. This is going to jump him way up the board if he can do it. It's not too hard, this, but you need to be precise, and he does get it. Huge moment for Do-Yeon Lee and his competition history. Awesome from him. I mean, so there he is, launching left. Tricep. It looks so awkward. It looks jarring on the shoulders, landing in that palm down place.
Yeah. So, he knows most methods he'll figure out after.
Say thumb scrag. You know what I mean.
I completely understood it, though.
That's good. I'm glad someone does.
We need a new word.
So Yannick Flo stops after 33 seconds. Lots of different methods for him. Didn't
Power, how hard you can pull through your arms. Essentially, this is about how well you can tell your hips to be in a certain place a few meters away from you.
So he does. That's it. That it's locked in.
A lot of power with that right arm.
Oh, and bringing the heel into play.
Now you see that jump of maybe something.
And that's coming closer.
He's got only 4 seconds left.
He wants that zone. He wants the score, and that came close. So Kokoro Fuji down the order with that. Couldn't. Begins M3. He's going to go static. He thinks better of it. That won't count as an attempt. Hasn't touched the ground.
This sport, they're called problems, not climbs, because it's something you have to figure out. It's actually perceptually mental.
What's so good is these athletes have 4 minutes, and we've basically watched them do the same move every time, and yet we haven't run out of things to say yet because there's so much going on. Still in second place. Kokoro Fuji was left in 4th after failing to get that zone on 3.
There we
Yes.
are. Look at that last little twist. You saw this left knee twist in, throw the hips into the right position. That was amazing.
So Colin Duffy, we know this move is doable from this point, but he's got to keep it together. Otherwise, they'll have to repeat that sequence again. 1 hold closer. Oh, he wants a swap hand. Yeah, that's better. So that's what the root setter's had, the right hand on it. And now he's got a launch left, and he'll take a very deep breath on this moment. There it is. Pings out on a big slip.
And stick the foot, that's so amazing to see.
So Colin Duffy jumps up to 2nd place with that zone. If he can get a top, he might be in 1st. So swaps the hand, jumps it over. Now watch the feet, because he did mess this up a bit. Eyes it up. Swings. This time makes it work, and Colin Duffy tops out. Huge fist bump from him at the top of the wall. We wait for the lead.
Younger athletes solving this very, very cerebral problem. And now we're wondering, Yoshiyuki Ogata not in the same age group as those athletes, but quite well known for being able to solve these dynamic movements.
So, as we've seen, he starts with the double palm. The process begins again. 3.5 minutes on the clock here in Innsbruck. Once more into the palm. 1:40 on the clock. The DJ is ramping up the tension. The crowd is too. Almost.
Now we are seeing it happen often.
I think I like no text.
Look
So he's up.
at that. The precision. He was up there. Didn't need to pull hard in the zone. He just had it.
Now, will he hand swap? You could do it with the left. No, he decides to go to the right. And now the nerves will be kicking off for him. Leaps, gets it, and watch the leaderboard. Great effort from Yoshiyuki Ogata. We wait for things to change, the confirmation. From him in 1st position, Do-Yeon Lee in 2nd, and that man we just saw him, Yoshi Ogata in 3rd.
Big jump to this first hold. Don't think anyone's going to do it static. I don't think they need to. And then almost an iron cross through to the next, and then one of those 360s coming under the zone, and then you're into the...
on his face all evening.
Such a great, great athlete to watch. So much energy, so much emotion, and so much positivity. I've spoken to him a few times after, and it is just a delight.
So Jeongwon Chon gets going. And this is the first time we get to see this popping onto that yellow pocket and then adjusting in midair.
Yeah. bounce. They have so much experience here. They get a good hold, they can do almost anything they want with it.
And then this is the spectacular move the route setters had planned and hoped for, into the zone. No feet, spinning around.
Biceps for days here.
So he's trying to work his way, but the feet start to get pretty slopey. I mean, at least you have feet at this point. He didn't have any before. Slapping up into the sloper. Matches underneath. Eyeing up the crimp as he crosses through. And launches to the top. Matches. Awesome from Jeongwon Chon. What a moment from him, finishing things off in style.
What an absolute moment. You could tell how badly he wanted this athlete and his connection to the athlete that just went.
So, presses up. Big jump out sideways.
It looks like not a bother, but you are jumping to a very precise pocket.
Just look at the ability to reset when you miss it. I mean, look, again, look, resetting, not managing to... Jeongwon Chon's winning a World Cup. So, pressing up. That jump, it's blind into that pocket.
Yeah. There's lots of different tactics in terms of visualizing it in the space, but we're jumping to a pocket you can't see.
So Jeongwon Do-Yeon Lee gets set, kicking up to try to get a bit of momentum, and it worked.
Does find it.
So that's 3 fingers in the pocket. Now needs to do the same thing again, find the momentum, because every time he stops, he loses it. But it's very climbable from this position as he presses into the yellow sloper.
Do-Yeon Lee now one of the few athletes with 2 tops before do these moves.
So he leaps again, making that blind jump look easier and easier. He'll have got the distance locked in. Iron cross, the swing to face the audience.
Wow, very well learned there.
So this is where Do-Yeon, I don't know what happened. He just maybe lost focus, I don't know, but that right sloper got in this time. Matches with the feet, and it's that. It's very true. Question your life decisions at that point. So swinging backwards, he goes again. 19 seconds, he's got to be really quick here. Time is ticking. Iron cross, swing to face the audience. Locks in, 12 seconds, 10. He'll be facing the clock at this moment. He knows what he's got to do. I don't think it's going to be enough time, you know. 6, 5, it's counting him down, and that is the end of Do-Yeon Lee's final. And Yannick Floet almost cleared to climb. His time won't start until they tell him, so he's not missing out here. And there it is, we're underway. So, Yannick Floet. I mean, look, in no way has this been a disappointing final for him, but he hasn't been quite as spectacular as we saw in Brixen.
Yeah, I think it is a question of style in Brixen. The style of the setting really, really suited him. Now, as I say that,
and he falls off the
but that's where he needs to compose and make it happen.
So he's got the left hand locked in, comes out, swinging with the fingers. And now these are the kind of moves that are pretty familiar to him, and look how controlled he is with that movement.
So, very familiar. 2 fingers, don't need a third.
But he needs to get some feet on the wall here at some point. And he's kicking to try to drive himself towards it. And he first top so quickly and then struggled since then to connect everything. This move is just, I mean, it's like on monkey bars for him, isn't it? It's like you're in your local park swinging around.
He's very comfortable right now.
This time finds the foot out to the sloper. We know it's droppable from this point, though. Matches underneath into the crimp, and this move should be good for Yannick Floet. He's good at it. Gets high, using the heel, swings, and that is his 2nd top of the competition. And that's really helped to score up into 4th place. At least. Now, this is going to be interesting. The problem is once you're facing out, you've got to then jump almost backwards as you rotate.
But looks like he's going to figure it out.
Yeah, kicking backwards, easy once he flipped himself. Jumps his hands over. And then he'll kick out right, which he does. Fingers deep in the pocket, locks off that right arm, and then swings under. Almost did it in one movement, stopped. Changed it up. Hanging on. Look at that. That's the slow motion climbing that I just love watching him do. It looks like we just slowed the camera down there.
Yeah, it's so nice, and it's just a show of the control he currently has, choosing to go more statically so he doesn't introduce this risk into the movement.
Left toe out, interesting. He's tall, as you said, manages to make that. Oh, holds the barn door. And now looking to bring a heel into play. One move away for Kokoro Fuji. Right hand on it. He needs the match, and he's going to get it. And the boulder, number 4, goes down for Kokoro Fuji, and that bumps him. Movements, and it's fairly easy to read it. It's just about power and this jump. How quickly can he lock it in? 4th place at the moment. Up, misses the edge of it, too low.
Just a bit too low. Looked like he matched the first hold. He could lean back and try to visualize where it was, but didn't have. He could probably only see the bottom edge of that yellow hold and didn't quite visualize where the pocket was, how far up that was. You saw him walk back and jump to make sure, okay, the pocket is 10 centimeters up from the bottom, and he made use of that information.
Yeah, corrected immediately there. Chalks up straight away. And now Colin Duffy starts his swing, adjusting on coming out. And look, they all want to do it in one, but power required for that.
As he controls the swing with just one arm.
And again, back to the arm, always locked off. Now he straightens it, kicks with the feet to get him in, locks it, and then gets the side pull. A bump out to the sloper now for Colin Duffy, and the left hand fired off again. Nerves afraid here in the audience. Matches beautifully this time, has that perfectly. And now this is it. He'll probably stop. He tried to do it in a one of the first time. Similar sequence, drops that, chalks up mid-swing.
Has to. It's the only way to look as amazing as you possibly can.
Showboated for us. Right, he won't want another dry fire though. Bumps the left hand. It'll be in his mind. He looks back at that hold, hoping it doesn't pop on him. Left foot, oh, and there's a left foot. Needs to go quick now, 45 on the clock. Can Colin keep it together? Almost misses, but doesn't. Bumps the left hand, 36 seconds. Now he swings, same sequence is exactly the same. Chalks up, makes sure he's got it, locks it off, matches, and kick off with the legs. Drives his right foot into the sloping hold. Pumps out. Now we've seen a left hand pop, we've seen a left foot pop. Can he keep it together this time? There's that offending left, better from him. Drops in.
Close.
He's going to go to the crimp. There is the top in sight. Colin Duffy, this could be a play for the gold. Out with the right hand, just needs to match with 8 seconds to go. Does in slow motion to keep us hanging. Colin Duffy with 5 seconds on the clock, finishes things off. And now the pressure is put on Yoshi out. Oh, this could be vital, because we know this is probably the hardest way to do this move. Oh, it was close. So that could... He's facing out again. Route reading being the key here tonight, and makes it second go. So Yoshiyuki begins going right, matches in. Look at that, so smooth from him. Oh, if this works out the way I think it is, he's going to be devastated at the end of this comp. Oh, but he falls. But look at that change in the lead and facing in, making that trickier method work. Out he goes into an iron cross.
So casual through that movement.
Locks in. So he comes out now, matching the horrible pocket. Out he comes into the sloper, feet out right, matches underneath. There's the crimp. One move away for Yoshiyuki Ogata. Oh, but he loses the left foot. Slip. Crowd are asked to make some noise, and I'm sure they'll oblige as Yoshiyuki Ogata, once again with 38 seconds on the clock, gets going. That move, so much control and power needed for that. Thumb tucked underneath. And spirals his legs as he locks it in on the right. Into the sloper. It is, and again a foot slip for Yoshiyuki. And 18 seconds, that might be it. I mean, he's not going to want to give up, but I don't think he's got time, and he is finished. And therefore, your man, Colin Duffy, will take the gold medal. Yoshiyuki Ogata will just wait for the confirmation, but it should be in bronze.
That's that breakdown. I don't think he'll be happy with that, but...
And Do-Yeon Lee in second position for him, his first podium, Colin's first podium of the year, and a gold medal. I thought he was in form, but I didn't know he was being that good there tonight.
Yeah, big switch up in the results today, showing that sort of younger generation.
3 tops in one zone for victory here tonight in Innsbruck. Do-Yeon Lee, second place, 2 tops, 2 zones for him Yoshiyuki Ogata, 2 tops and 2 zones as well, coming.
Something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees waiting.